It's a matter of compassion. It's a matter of compassion. It is a matter of compassion that I talk to you today. A matter of compassion. Okay. So, it was ridiculous the amount of feedback I got from that last video. People want to talk about compassion. They recognize in there that the way I'm defining morality works both ways. That if you give too much of yourself, that is undermining your own means, and therefore undermining your own moral worth, is the way one viewer put it, and I'll go with that. And here actually is the foundation of objectivism as Ayn Rand understands it. She, I'm assuming, makes that kind of argument. I'm not an Ayn Randian, or whatever they call themselves. I take it one step farther, you see. Although I could give something to a person in need and genuinely inhibit my own self, what we have to talk about is whether or not you value your moral worth more or less than other facets of your being, and whether or not that's justified. You know, the matter of value was talked about a little bit actually in the latest Holland's Network show, I think it was, or discussion. I don't think they like it when I call it a show. It's not a show, it's very serious. It's what was it? Oh, that once you start talking about values, that's not something that you can just justify objectively, and that it's a subjective thing, and it's up to your intuition, these sorts of things. It's no, it's not true. You see, every decision we make, every action we take as a human being, we make because we think it is rational. Even when we're wrong, we think at that time that, okay, what is the most reasonable decision? Boom, and you always pick the most reasonable one. Even in matters of faith, you think it is reasonable in that situation to abandon reason itself. Do you see what I mean? Now, reason is facilitated, really, and is only successful when we have a valid understanding of the world. We can't expect to be rational and believe that everything in the world is made of ice cream. So to that, we actually have derived, and from that we could derive a very objective and rather sublime criteria for human action in a very general sense. You can call this Aristotle's notion of the good. You can call it nirvana. You can call it the Christ within, whatever you want. But in the end, what it is an intuitive sort of teleological point that we place in the future. And we all, regardless of what we call it, we all go at it in a rational way. We use reason, and reason is the basis of all of our actions, and all of our actions try to get us there, whether we are hedonist or like super like, I don't know, Hindi yogi weirdness, you know, or anything in between. Asceticism, whatever that's called. So in matters of compassion and genuinely now hindering yourself for the benefit of others is something that Ayn Rand doesn't find any value in. And that's because she, I do not believe, thinks of the human being as anything more than their own moral worth. Well, moral worth is identified in our limitations as a physical manifestation. For example, if say like God was to create for you $1 million and give it to you, that would be of no real hindrance to him. He is omnipotent, but you and I are not. Certain facets of our being, however, I do believe are divine in origin, and in that we have still a window for compassionate behavior and selflessness and humility and those sorts of things. But it comes from recognizing that compassionate behavior does undermine one's own moral worth, but that itself might be a valuable thing if what defines your moral worth is only a facet, only part of your whole being of a human. Because if there was incorporated in your being divine aspects, then what merely is your moral worth would not be at the top of your list. That would not necessarily be the most valuable thing in your nature. And so to give to other people, although it might genuinely hinder you, it might genuinely leave you in an unfair position. Like if I was to give money to families of need, I certainly don't make a lot of money. And if I was to give a significant amount of the money that I make to someone who needs it more than I do, how do we justify this morally? Morally, we cannot justify it. It is not justifiable morally. It is rather something else, okay? A moral thing to do is to give them money and then have them do something of equal worth back, like I said, Ayn Rand. But to give it and to say, no, I don't want anything from you in return, that's something else. Come. There's like 3 of them out there. Ooh, 4. Ooh, oh, Jesus, it's 5. I am one with nature.